This episode is brought to you by In the Crew 512, Austin's first and only streetwear brand. If you're from Austin or even if you just love the city, make sure you check out inthecrew.com. Use the code HALFTIME for 15% off your entire order. Now, enough of me talking. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode of Halftime Company. It's your boy Uncle JB, and man, I am so excited about this episode today because next to me is an amazing sister that is doing some amazing things. She's actually a first generation graduation student, and she's graduating this spring from the great Texas State. And the person sitting next to me is no other than the wonderful Miss Evelyn. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Super nervous, but definitely super excited.
Oh, well, you know what? You don't gotta be nervous. Like, it's just a simple conversation about who
Right.
you are and what you do, and I think we've had our conversations, and you're a great person. You come from a background that I think a lot of people will be able to learn from, and I'm
Right.
excited to get into that and really talk about that. But before we do,
Right.
I would love to hear about just like who's Evelyn, like where you from, why'd you choose, let's say, Texas State, and what do you go to school there for?
So, my name's Evelyn. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm a first generation student. My mom had me when she was 15. She's also an immigrant. So, I feel like all the odds were against me in a way. I grew up in a very small house. It was with my mom, my grandma, just full house. And college was never pushed onto me. It was more if you want to go, you can. If not, just make sure you do something. And it wasn't until maybe like my junior year, I was taking this class called One Goal. Shout out to Coach Aya for pushing me to go to school. And he just wanted me to do better, be better. I told him what my home life was. It was great, but it was just very like I wanted to do more, but I didn't know how. And he was like, apply to these schools. I got into Texas State. I narrowed it down from Texas State or Sam Houston. I did Texas State because I got the most money.
I
you
feel
know?
you. I feel you.
Yeah, so, and it was very challenging in the beginning, being first gen and doing my FAFSA college applications. I had no idea. It was very frustrating, but thankfully I had Coach Aya to like guide me, and I wouldn't honestly want it any other way.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
Shout out, Coach, by the way.
right?
So what was it like? So you said your mom had you when she was 15.
Yes.
Okay, so young parents.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Houston and also in that environment?
So growing up in Houston, it was love my mom. Just she was a kid having a kid, so I felt like in a way we grew up together, and at times we both didn't know how to maintain a parent-child or friend-friend relationship. So we definitely bumped heads a lot growing up. And since it was just my mom and the support of my grandma and my uncle and my aunt helping raise me, I never had my dad in the picture, so that I felt like I was missing a part of me. So that's what kind of led me into being like a trouble kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said it's a trouble kid.
Yeah.
So you felt
Yeah.
like you were kind of like wreaking havoc a little bit because I'm just asking. I don't know.
No,
But
yeah.
like, do you feel like you weren't heard in a way or something as a child? Is that why you kind of like feel like you lashed out?
Mhm. Definitely, I felt like I wasn't heard, but also I just didn't know how to speak either. So in a way, I didn't even know my own emotions, and
Mm.
my mom at the time, and she was. I always say two broken kids had another broken kid. As
Mm-hmm.
love my mom, love your mom, but I just felt it was hard. My mom was not only going through stuff on her own, but she knew that her daughter was going through stuff. So I know that kind of added like a burden on top of my mom. So definitely my dad not being in the picture kind of took a toll on me growing up into like going into middle school and high school and realizing that this isn't normal. Not everybody has the childhood like mine.
Yeah. Actually, going back to something you said,
Right.
'cause I just thought about it. So, like, as a first gen, right?
Mhm.
Like, whenever you were figuring out if I should go to college, like what type of pressure did you
Oh,
feel in that moment? Like, cause like you could easily say, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just
yeah.
gonna. But in a lot of ways, like you're breaking generational barriers,
Hmm.
which is awesome. But like what was that pressure like?
Yeah, I felt so much pressure since I am my mom's only child. And since we grew up together, I felt she was excited for me, but also in a way, do you really want to go? Are you sure you want to go? You could stay here with me, is what she was kind of saying. But it was a very hard decision. And honestly, it was the best decision I've ever made. But in my mind, I stay where I'm from. I'm from Spring Branch in Houston. And I was like, do I stay in Spring Branch? So I just continue just going to community college. Nothing's wrong with community college, but I did get a good amount of money in FAFSA, thankfully. So it's like, in a way, why wouldn't I take this opportunity? My family don't even they don't even know that there's these opportunities.
Right.
There's sacrifices, and it's like why not? Like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, who? What do I have to lose?
Exactly.
And I wouldn't. And my mom always said, if you don't like it, come back, which was true. If I like, it doesn't hurt to try. So that was definitely a big thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so when you were finding like, all right, I'm gonna go this route.
Hmm.
What made you want to go the criminal justice route? Like, why did you choose that out of all the degrees or
Hmm.
out of all the paths that you could have taken?
So criminal justice has like that has always been a passion of mine ever since I was like probably like in elementary school.
Mm.
I never wanted to be a cop. I wanted to do more like behind the scenes and more helping people. I love Law and Order SVU. That's literally my favorite short
Yeah.
show till this day. So growing up, I didn't know if I wanted to go to college or not. I just knew I had to do something within the justice system, especially getting older, becoming more aware of our justice system. I'm like, oh yeah, like we need some help in here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with like people of color. I want to help them because they just have so many disadvantages within the system.
Do you like so? What does it personally mean to you to be like walking into that space and hopefully an advocate for people that look like yourself?
So, for sure, criminal justice, it's a male dominant field. And I just want to show that I'm an advocate for people that believe that they don't have a voice, you know? And especially since I am a woman of color, you know, I feel like, yes, I'm a woman of color, but I am an American citizen. So that alone, I already have so much privilege, you know? And I feel like a lot of people struggle or believe that they don't have someone that they can turn to, especially
Mm.
if there's someone that looks like me. I feel like I'll be able to help them in a way.
Because you kind of said it earlier, right? Like kids, sometimes you say you really didn't know your emotions,
Mhm.
right?
100%.
And obviously, a lot of kids are struggling to find that emotion when you have inconsistencies that are going on in your life. It's who do you turn to? Who do you trust?
Right. Mhm.
Right? What do, especially in your field, I guess, what do most adults don't realize about kids at that age? They might just say, "Oh, he's just a juvenile, he's lashing out, like whatever." And they put him in this box, but
Mhm.
there could be so much other stuff that's going on. Like, what do you say to that?
What I say to that is, me personally, since I was like a troubled kid, I wouldn't say I was terrible, but I did give my mom some hell. Um, so I just think, coming from a personal experience, I just felt lost. Come from a very supportive, loving family, but in a way, I just still felt alone, even though I didn't have my dad involved. My family filled that role for me. I never felt that I wasn't loved enough, but in a way, I still craved that. I I was missing something that I never had, in a
Mm,
way. And so I know for a lot of kids, thankfully I had my loving family, but they don't have that, or their
yeah.
parents are working, or mom or dad isn't in the picture, and they feel like, well, if they don't really care, then why should I care? Like, what do I have to
Mm,
lose? You know? And I noticed that also when I was in my bad kid era growing up, I noticed the kids that I was getting into trouble with, me and them have like very a lot of things in common, such as like their parents are never home. They don't even know that their kid is running ragged, you know? Thankfully my mom was disciplining me, but it wasn't clicking yet.
yeah,
But it all starts with the child development and their environment that they grow up in, and sometimes their kids they can't help with the cards that they're given, but like I said, I want to go into this field to help them feel like if they believe no one's there, then I guess I'll be the only one, and so be it.
that's amazing though, because like I correct me if I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
some kids could feel like they're the problem,
Mhm.
right? Like it's all
Yeah.
because of my fault,
Yeah.
you know. And I guess like, have you ever felt that way? Like, did you ever feel that way at any point where you felt like, is it my fault?
In a way, growing up, going back to my mom being super young, I felt me and my mom would bump heads a lot just because she was going through her own things. In a way, I kind of blamed myself because the main issues were always stemmed with my dad. So I'm like, wow, like if I, in a way, if I was never born, my mom wouldn't be this way, you know? In a way, I've never had suicidal thoughts, but it's just in a way I kind of wish my mom had a better outcome in life because my mom was one of the strongest women I've ever met. And it's like she definitely did not deserve the cards that she was given. So I felt like, in a way, guilty. And I'm my dad's spitting image. My dad's bald. So I'm literally my dad with hair. So I'm just, so growing up, I've always felt like, damn, like, I'm
Yeah,
half of my dad, you know?
yeah. And you said so your dad, your mom was a single mother.
Hmm.
Is your dad around now or
No. So
okay?
I kind of came to terms with I'm in the process of like kind of forgiving my dad, and it's more so for on my part. I'm getting older. I've had this burden on me since I was like maybe 12, you know. And I would always make excuses for him. I would always be like, "Oh, well, it's okay." You know, he said he was going to pick me up, but something probably came up, you know. But growing up, it's like either I can sit around and be sad over it, or I can just, continue moving on and show, yeah, I didn't have you in my life, but, maybe it was best because of how far I've gone and how far I'm going to get.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody just probably just showing up every
Yeah.
now and then.
Yeah.
You want somebody that's consistent.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously, I'm not talking about your dad in any
No,
way,
100%.
but just
Yeah.
like just the nature of it, just like consistency is key,
Mm-hmm.
right?
100%. And I feel that's what I never had when I was younger. And my mom, even though my mom and my dad had their their arguments and their disagreements, my mom always had that door open for him. And sometimes he just would close the door on himself in a way.
Yeah. So I guess like in a way, it's like you would. I guess let me ask you this, so because you probably will see this a lot within the realm that you're walking into when you
Mm-hmm.
graduate. Um, there's going to be absent parents, and then there's going to be inconsistent parents,
Right.
right? Um, I don't know how to say this because both is kind of bad, but like
Yeah.
in a way, it's like you kind of want an absent parent than an inconsistent one,
Oh,
right?
100%. I will always say that. And it's crazy. I learned that in therapy. um, I I did it. I would always say like playing around or just I'm like, oh yeah, I have no dad, you know. But it's like it in a way it sounds bad that I kind of wish I did it. My dad was just so inconsistent and kind of bring my hopes up, and I'm like, there was multiple times where we were trying to get our relationship into a better place, but then it'll fall through. Same thing. We're doing
Mm,
good, then we're doing bad. So I feel like if he was away, I couldn't miss what I never had,
yeah.
and he was always, I guess, trying, and I was always trying, and I guess we would never see eye to eye. And it was definitely harder for me because I seen he can be a dad, he just didn't want to be a dad to me. And so I feel like that was like a very hard part in growing up and understanding that, you know, these are the cards I was dealt with. Like, let's move forward and just, it does hurt, but it doesn't hurt the adult me. It just hurts the child in me.
Because you see it happen. So he has other kids.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you see it happening. It just didn't happen, and
Yeah.
maybe because he was young,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Yeah.
But you did see your mom step up and do it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it's you
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I definitely I say the last 2 years have been the hardest, and the last 2 years I haven't spoken to him. And it was kind of me just sitting with the whole situation, especially because it's a whole big happy family and I'm not a part of it, you know? And it was just, why wanted that? Why couldn't I get that? Was I not enough? You know? Like, what did I do to deserve what I got? You know? And especially like with my dad and my mom, there was so many traumatic events growing up, and it's like they didn't do it on purpose. They didn't know it was gonna be a traumatic event.
right.
But, it's just roll with the punches and just therapy, understanding that it wasn't my fault.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of therapy,
Yeah.
what role did therapy play in your healing? Because I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, I don't want to go to therapy because they ain't really gonna help me out."
Yeah.
But like, what role did that play with all of this?
Honestly, therapy, thank God I went. A lot of people, it's very taboo. Everyone's like, oh, I'm just talking to a stranger. Yes, I had the same mentality. It wasn't until I was a sophomore in high school, I believe I was 15, 16 years old, and my mom told me, you should go to therapy. Maybe you should talk about it. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. Therapy's for crazy people. I'm not crazy. I don't need to go. And I actually spoke to my now boyfriend. We weren't boyfriend or girlfriend at the time, and I was telling him, should I go? Like, I don't know. Like, he did know like everything going on with my dad, and he was like, I mean, why not? Just try it. If you don't like it, it's okay. Just, you wouldn't know if you didn't try it.
Right.
And I feel like the only reason why I went was because of my boyfriend, and he was super supportive the whole time. And I always tell everybody in therapy, it's a process. It's a hard process, a hard pill to swallow as well. You have to go when you're ready, and you have to go if you're willing to take. The best way to describe it is constructive criticism.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's like a whole process. It gets worse before it gets better.
Right.
You unravel all these layers of yourself that you didn't even know, or just like all this trauma, things that you blocked, or things that you do, and you might not be the best person to the other people that you're speaking about.
I like what you just said. Like, it gets worse before it gets better.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like doing laundry. Like, you got a pile of laundry. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
ugh, look at that.
Yeah.
But then when you get done and you get through it, it's all folded up, nice
Yeah.
and neat. It's like, it was worse. Now it's better.
For sure.
So man, I love that because like you weren't, and I'm glad you had people in your corner that pushed you to say, hey,
For
explore
sure.
it, right? Shout out to your boyfriend because that's one of those things to where, like, he's not necessarily included in that.
Yeah.
He's saying, hey, you go do what you need to do to become a better version of yourself. And I think that's we all need people like that in our corner to say, hey, like, if this is going to be better for you, then I support you. So that's dope. I did want to ask also with the whole therapy situation, like you said earlier, what you're doing now, especially as far as your father, you were doing it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
I feel like some people they think of therapy that is going to do it for other people.
Oh yeah, no. You have to go for yourself. And I wanted to go to therapy just to not fix, but kind of understand my emotions and if my emotions were normal. In a way, I felt crazy, and it was funny because I was telling my mom I'm not crazy, but inside I felt crazy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so going, I just, a lot of people do struggle opening up, but I just laid it down. I was like, this is what happened, this is how I feel, and I'm well aware of my actions. I'm hyper aware, you know,
Yeah.
so I'm like, tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm crazy, like help me, you know. And of course it didn't take that one session. It took, I was in therapy for about 2 years, and then I left for college, and I haven't gone back since. I do want to go back, but those 2 years definitely helped me become the person that I am today. Even though I was in high school, I felt it helped me become more emotionally intelligent, and not only for myself, but for those around me, because a lot of people act out on emotion. I even things that I've learned in therapy, I tell my mom, like, it's okay, like, you can breathe, like, you can't control the uncontrollable.
That's
Yeah.
amazing that you just said that because those 2 years, you took what you learned and what you practiced and you applied
Mhm.
it to your life.
Right.
And yes, you haven't been back, but you still have that core principle of what you've learned, right? You can
Mhm.
always go back to that,
Right.
So I think that's dope that and that's the whole point, right? We want to apply what we learned to better our lives.
Mhm.
So before I know we might be running up on time, so I wanted to make sure I asked two more questions for you because one of the questions was um, moving into your field, into criminal justice. If someone is watching this, let's say a teenager is watching this, or anybody that's crying out for help or that's
Mhm.
in trouble,
Right.
right? What would you say to them as an adult or somebody in that space?
That's a great question. In a way, the best thing I could say to them would definitely be find something that you're very passionate about. Find something, someone, confide in someone. Your feelings, your emotions are valid. Doesn't matter who says what. You have feelings and you're feeling them for a reason. It's okay. And like I said, going back, find something that you're very passionate about. At the time, I was in cheer, so I found an outlet for that, and then I started going to boxing.
Mm.
So find something that you're passionate about, do it, clear your mind, and just seek out help. There is help, you know.
There is hope.
There is, you know. It is hard, but definitely do that. And I'm a big advocate of continuing school. I don't I don't care. Everyone's like, school's not for me. School is for you. You're gonna find a good outlet, whether it's a trade, cosmetology, university, school. That's one thing no one can steal from you is your knowledge. And it's a privilege that not a lot of people know that they have and they don't take advantage of, you know.
We have so much knowledge at our fingertips,
Mhm.
and what it sounds like you're saying is
Yeah, just
do
do it.
something,
Yeah.
just go do it. Don't
Mhm.
just like sit around and be like,
Yeah.
oh, because that's when depression will kick
Yeah.
in. That's when all these
Mhm.
other thoughts and
Yeah.
um, I love that, and maybe this is gonna be your answer to this to the follow up question to this. I don't know. I'm excited to hear it,
Right.
but what's something that you want to bring awareness to in the world today?
I want to bring a there's a couple things.
Yes, go ahead, do your thing.
I want to help people of color, specifically more towards my Hispanic community, especially since like ICE and all that is very big right now. Coming from an immigrant family myself, I definitely, going back to what I said earlier, I want to be the voice that people think they don't have and show them that they do have rights. And same thing in the black community as well. They're so scared and they get their own rights violated because they don't even know that they had rights. And also, I'm a huge advocate, like I said, to education, continuing your education, especially
Mm-hmm.
people of color. Continue like the take all the privilege that you have and run with it. So many people around the world, you know, they don't have education. They will killed to be in the position that we're in. And that's why I always not only do things for me, but for my family, because my family, they are immigrants. They're all they know is work and home, you know. And I send them pictures like, hey, this is what I'm doing. And they're like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm proud of you, you know. So little things like that just makes me so happy. Like their sacrifices never go unnoticed.
Mm. See, I love that you said that because you know it's kind of crazy about the whole like ICE thing to me. Like I like to look at things like very simple and black and
Yeah.
white, right? Like our first lady of the country is an immigrant. There's people within the administration like Marco Rubio
Yep.
who was Cuban. His parents were Cuban. He was a birthright citizen.
Yep.
He was born and then later his parents became citizens. So it's like people within the own administration
Oh
are just
yeah.
like, I just don't understand it because it's like, that's you,
Yeah.
first off. Second off, like, I just feel like it's so weird because you don't see this in other countries. Like you've traveled before, right?
Mhm.
You've traveled.
Mhm.
What was it like whenever you traveled to other countries and you saw how they interacted versus
Mm.
how it is here in America?
So that's a great question. I had the privilege to study abroad, and I was there for about a month and a half ish, around there. And in a way, when I first got there, I'm a very alert person. I always have my guard up, especially with everything going on. Being there, I felt like a breath of fresh air. It was
Mm.
so weird. And I was in Spain, so it's like a whole different continent, you know, and it's like I felt safe. Officers, they didn't have guns. There was no
What?
guns. So being there, I was like, okay, of course, bad things can happen anywhere, but just the interactions, the culture was just definitely so different. And it's no one, I'm not gonna say no one, but a lot of people were afraid of police officers. And the interactions were a lot different. I would say definitely a lot more community policing
Mm.
in Spain, and it was just a lot more relaxed. Like not everyone wasn't timid. Like excuse me, you know, it was just like they were living their life, and I feel like here is complete opposite.
Everybody's like not living. It's like we're surviving here. It
Yeah,
seems
a
like,
hundred percent.
you know, even with like I haven't been overseas, but I hear like
Mm.
the food is even better. Like you can just eat
Oh,
all day, and it's like you're not even like you don't feel it.
100%. That's one thing I did adapt. Spain, they don't like spicy food, and I love spicy food, so that was
Mm.
something to adapt to. But I would like to say I'm a picky eater, but over there was nothing that was nasty. It just tasted different. But their food was like real, like fresh. I could eat a burger over there and I could go on a run, you know? Like I didn't feel nasty or there was no process and
Yeah, like you groggy, and just like
yeah.
oh, I can't move.
Yeah. But one thing I do, they don't have red 40. It's banned. So
Oh,
all
the
them hot,
dye
yes,
and
all
stuff.
the hot Cheetos and all that, I'm a hot Cheeto girl. Like I do not care. I love my hot Cheetos, and I was like going crazy over there. And they have like Takis and stuff, but they're like not bright red, like don't have battery acid in it. And I'm like, I need hot Cheetos immediately. And in a way, I was telling my classmates like, this is so weird. We're so used to all this processed food, and it's funny. I'm what I'm about to say is funny. It's like I was having like withdrawals. Like what do you mean? I'm not getting all this stuff that I'm used to. But no, yeah, that was a little culture shock for me. I know first world problems, but
That's crazy. I didn't
yeah.
even think about that because like you're right. Like they have like which is also weird to think about. What's banned
Mhm.
in other countries as far as health wise is legal here,
Yeah.
and it's just like, what are we doing with our population?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I just feel like I love this conversation because obviously you know there's a lot of evil and a lot of wrong going on in the world, you know, in a lot of communities, and we've seen that really since we both were born, right? Like there's
Right.
just been so much stuff to where we can fix, but we choose not to fix. Like we have literally a president right now saying it's more important that we fund our military than daycare and Medicaid.
Mhm.
You know, it's we don't care about our people, we care about other stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
love the fact that you're walking into a space and you're wanting to care about people
Mhm.
and not the other stuff. You want to
Yeah.
focus on what's plaguing our community, what's happening in our streets,
Mhm.
what's going on, how can I fix the system? And I love that and I applaud you. And, I know here at halftime, we want to support you and, whatever you do, we're rooting for you. I'm excited about what you have going on. You're graduating
I
soon.
know. Oh my God.
You
I feel like
excited?
time like just flew by. What do you mean, like these 4 years? I'm so excited. I have like, I believe, a month, less than a
Okay.
month, so I graduate.
And is it back to Houston? Is it
We're still in the middle ground. I
okay?
don't know yet,
Okay.
but for sure, I will end up in Houston, some way, somehow. I'm a very big family person, even though I do like to be on my own, travel, do all this extra stuff, but definitely will settle down in Houston.
I'm excited for you. And before we leave, is there anything that you would like to say to anybody that's watching, our followers, everybody that
Yeah,
will be watching? Is there any
right.
last message you would like to say to them?
Any last words? I would definitely love to say to my family, I love you guys so much. I wouldn't be the person I am today without y'all. And anybody that is watching, if you feel like you're lost, it's okay. Even though I just did this whole podcast, I felt lost literally a week ago. I still feel lost, but it's okay. Everything happens for a reason. Everything will fall into place. You can't control the uncontrollable. And yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Just like that. And halftime, we thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode. Again, make sure y'all give my girl Evelyn a follow. We'll make sure we put her information on the bottom. And if you have any questions, especially when it comes to the criminal justice space, this is going to be the person that you reach out to. So, with that said, we thank y'all. We love y'all. We out.